Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Cybertron Deluxe Class Downshift. So Downshift is two of the three still packaged figures that I'm reviewing this week. And I got this particular one from Don Ferguson, aka Headmaster Don, like I did with the Ripclaw figure. He I hadn't planned on getting. I knew about getting Ripclaw because I was talking to him through Twitter about getting him. But I came, he showed me other stuff that he had to want to sell. The only thing I saw of real interest was this Downshift because holy crap do I love Cybertron, and holy crap I have seen Downshift. It looks so cool. I've never had the mold and now I get a chance to play with it. Once we finished looking at the packaging. So take a closer look. You see it's Transformers Cybertron Robots in Disguise. You could win a trip to space camp. I remember seeing this on the packaging, and I think I considered doing it. Get your key to Cybertron. You could win a trip to space camp instantly. Seeing game price inside packaging. Unfortunately, that competition ended at the end of the year of 2006, so I am unfortunately 11 years late to apply for this. And then you see Downshift in this packaging. You got his car, you got his missiles, you got his missile launchers, you got some nice packaging artwork of Downshift on the front and then going off to the side of the box. You get Downshift, he's an Autobot, and there is his Cyberplanet key, his Earth Cyberplanet key. Oh, and you can unlock the power. And on this side you get Autobot, Downshift, and then you just see through more of the packaging and on the back of the box. If you can see all of that, you can see he's a skill level of 3. You insert the key to activate features. You see the key activated. You see Downshift in robot mode, Downshift in car mode. You can see you can buy Hot Cybertron Defense Hotshot, Crosswise, and Brimstone. You get this, that, and the other. Transformers Collectors Club, Transformers.com, tech specs and bio, which will be listed in the description below like I normally do. And then on the bottom of the box, you just get the bar. So yeah, that's all there is for Downshift. So give me a moment and we will get him out of the packaging and check him out. And here we have Downshift out of the box and in his car mode. And it is a very nice car mode. A very heavy muscle car type of car mode. That the only other car comparison I can think of is something like Kevin Levin's car from the Ben 10 Omniverse show. Something like that with the same blacks and greens, the same kind of heavy muscle car vibe to it. But this is a very nice muscle car. A very nice alt mode for a Transformer. So first taking a look at the front, we got a grille going on. We got some nice silver paint on that. We got some orange, some translucent. Geez, I'm screwing up the words. I'm going to screw up the words again, aren't I? Translucent orange plastic for the headlights, which is the same that is used for the windshields. And you can see straight through that, so that might be transparent, but there's the orange tint, so it's probably not transparent. But you can the clear orange plastic. Let's go with that clear orange plastic on the lights and for the windshields. You got a nice silver work on the bumper as well as on all of the tires, which all do roll very nicely. As you can see, all 4 of the wheels work. Most of the body is in green with some black, with a black stripe running down the side here, a little bit of silver work there. That's just a solid molded black piece. Kind of like if you are familiar with the Dead End mold from Combiner Wars, then that's kind of the same thing, like in the middle, that happens on the middle of Dead End's arm, but it's on the back, so it's not as obtrusive to me. Anyway, same thing on the other side, coming to the top. Most of the hood is black with a nice red with a white border Autobot symbol. You got an engine block going on there with some nice silver and black paint. I can't actually, is that going to be black paint, or is that's probably molded black in all the engine work is silver, I'd guess. But anyway, that looks nice. Some very nice detailing. Come to the roof, it's black, but it's got a very nice texture to it. You don't have that anywhere else on the... There's something up with that, and like that just feels nice. Anyway, you come to back, you got a little bit of silver paint because this is where the Cyber Key is going to go since this is a Cybertron toy. The back is just green, but then you come back here and you get a little bit, some bits of silver, and then some red for the tail lights. That's the exhaust pipes are black, and then underneath you don't get a whole lot of robot bits. The best you really get are like the thighs of the robot right there, but you don't really see much of the robot underneath, which is pretty nice. And then you actually even get a little bit of silver paint right there, but that's probably more so for robot mode to see. And you even got some nice molding up here of like the suspension for the wheels and the axle and whatnot. You don't get that back here because robot stuff, but there's some nice molding underneath as well. Oh, and also some little rear view mirrors. For accessories, he comes with these 2 missile launchers with missiles. They're able to plug in on him in the vehicle mode. You see the ports on the side, and then you got the tab here, and it just plugs in, and it's even shaped to fit along the edge of the car, so that's really nice. And I just plugged in that on this side, and I just fired off the missile on this side. These are very sensitive, and for action figures, these are pretty nice spring-loaded things. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, and you just press that gray piece right there to activate the spring in the spring-loaded missile launcher to fire the missiles off. And now if I can get them back into place. Yeah, you got that. And the missiles also have a minicon port, so if you have a minicon from Armada till like any minicon that is not the current RID minicon has a minicon port on it, such as lift door here. I should have got someone else because this is all black, but you can see, yeah, there's the light. You can see the minicon port, and then that plugs in onto both can plug onto the top or the top of the missile launchers. You will notice that there is a hole on the handle of the missile launcher, which looks like it could be a minicon port, but that is in fact not compatible with minicon ports. That's just there to save a little bit more plastic. But yeah, he's got those missile launchers, and he does come with his Cyber Key. It's an Earth Planet Cyber Key. Very nice blue clear plastic with this nice silver for the Earth Planet logo and the border. And then on the back, his key code is DM8R, which would have been plugged in onto the Hasbro website to unlock background information on Downshift, but you can also use it to unlock a Cyber Key gimmick. You just saw me. I need it. The Cyber Key port is hidden nicely on this toy because like most of the toys, it just kind of sticks out there. But this one, you can hide it and just have it like fold down like that, and then you can just come in. It's a little tricky, but you can pull it up and you get the port out, and then you'll plug the Cyberplane key back in there, and boom, he's got a very toothy claw grabber thing with like, what is that supposed to be? Is that a drill or is that like a laser launcher? Whatever it is, that's neat. That would be a drill. That looks like a drill thing. You just like grab him in and chomp, chomp, chomp. It's like a monster garage car or something like that. But yeah, he's got that going on. Yeah, that's all there's to it. That's all the same orange plastic used for the windscreen and the headlights. Just that bit of silver paint, and it's just all spring-loaded stuff, so you can put that back in. And fold that down, that off to the side. And that's all there is to say on the main car mode. So get into some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends Class Bumblebee, and you can see how he scales. here he is with Deluxe class Chrome Dome, so you can see how he looks next to a modern day Deluxe, and he is a lot longer, and Chrome Dome is just barely wider than him. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like by that hair, and they're like about the same like height as well, pretty much. So he is a bit beefier than Chrome Dome is. Voyager class Megatron, and you can see how he scales almost as long as Megatron there. Pretty long for a Deluxe. And here he is with Leader class 6-shot, raising the camera up a little bit, and you can see how he scales with 6-shot with a modern day Leader class figure. All right, that's all there is to say on Downshift in his vehicle mode, so let's roll right along to the robot mode. And to do that, we are going to first come to the sides. I'm going to come down here and we're going to pull the door, this whole door out. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. Simple. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come back here and we're going to split what will become the legs. They do tab in to the bottom of that right there. That tab will slot in back there behind that green tab. So that all holds into place very nicely. And then this hole, and then the legs are attached with those two tabs going to those two holes right there. The pegs, I should say. And then this hooked tab will go into that square hole right there. And we're going to swing this whole assembly around. That's all going to lock in. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come down. Well, actually, we're going to come down back to the back here and flip. We're going to flip these little bits out, and they'll be the heels for the robot mode. Then we'll come to the shins, flip those panels out, and fold it down by grabbing onto the exhaust pipes. And then flip the foot out and flip the panel down. Repeat that on the other side. Flip the panel up, flip the foot out, flip the panel down, and then we got all the lower legs all done. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to rotate that door around. We're going to fold this black bit down, which will be the arm. And nope, not yet downshift. We're going to flip the fist out like so. Repeat that on the other side. Rotate, fold the arm down, fold the fist out. And the last thing you need to do is to fold the roof of the car down onto his back. The head is spring loaded, so it's going to pop out, but you're going to need to pull it out the rest of the way. And there you have Downshift in his robot mode, and he looks pretty nice. He's pretty nice. He's pretty beefy and blocky, but that's the aesthetic. That was the aesthetic. Blech. The aesthetic of Cybertron, and there's certainly a lot more toy lines before we really got into more smoother designs with the movies and stuff. So he's quite nice. Coming up close on this face right here. He does have a wheeljack head. He has a very wheeljack looking head because in Japan he was known as Wheeljack. But because this toy was in the same continuity as Armada, and they already used Wheeljack's name in that, they couldn't reuse the name, so they gave him the new name Downshift. And you would have known that already if you watched my episode of The Matrix of Knowledge that I did with Alyssa, which just came out this past week. Self-promotion for the channel. It's probably going to end up in the cards right now or something. So go check that out once you get done with this review. Anyway, he's got a wheeljacky head. He's got a nice, mainly a black helmet with a silver mouth plate going on, a little bit of silver for that forehead crest. He's got a little, and some clear plastic orange ears going on there as well. No light piping on his head at all. He has a very, very big chest. Very big chest that is made up by the front of this car. That silver detail I mentioned before comes into play as that becomes his torso, part of his chest, upper torso, body mass. Coming to the legs, you get to see the details on the crotch and the upper thighs, and then on the lower legs you see the gold and silver details, paint details there, and you actually saw that at the underneath the robot mode, underneath the vehicle mode, but I never pointed them out. Coming to the arms, you got nice long shoulder pads with some silver paint on the sides, and then you got fairly simple black arms and then gray fists going on there, all closed fists. And yeah, and then you just got the back, which is just the car hood and the legs. But it kind of needs to have this like that because of how the gimmick works with the cyber key. Now for articulation, his head doesn't really have articulation. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room because of the spring, unless I'm not pulling his head all the way up, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And like you can get him to rotate his head by the barest of degrees, but that's it. His arms, however, have a lot more articulation. They're able to rotate a full 360. His arms are able to go that far out to the side. These shoulder pads cannot articulate that much, though they can wiggle a little bit just because of the transformation hinge, but it getting blocked by the backpack, so it can't like do a whole lot. You can get a little bit of an outsplayed pose with the shoulders. There is an elbow bend, and it is able to bend at an angle of 90 degrees. There's no swivel in the arm, but there is a little bit of wrist articulation if you count that as a wrist articulation. Nothing else in that. No waist articulation. His legs are able to bend that far forward. I'm going to move that out of the way a bit. That far back if you move the backpack out of the way a bit. Able to go all the way out. All the way out. There is a swivel right above the knee, so that's able to rotate a full 360. Knees are able to bend at an angle of 90 degrees, and you don't get any downward movement, but you do get a little bit of upward ankle tilt just because of how the transformation works. Yeah, and that's all he has for articulation. Not as much as some more modern toys, but again, these were bulkier toys at the time and didn't have as much articulation going on in them. But coming in, we got his missile launchers again, and he is able to hold them two ways in this form. You are able to put them in his fists, and he is able to wield them in his hands, like so. Or you can take them, and you see there's this groove going on in the hole in the bottom of the blaster with these tabs, these gripped tabs going on there. They actually will go over and clip onto the shoulders like so. Oh, and I just fired the missile again. Hold on. And just gotta put the missile back. And this one can go on his shoulder as well. So he can be rocking some shoulder-mounted cannons, which will shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, and those look pretty nice. And you can see what I mean by like that little bit of shoulder articulation. Just gives him a little bit more of a dynamics. Make him have a little bit more of a dynamic stance going on, like that. And yeah, and they still fire, of course. And yeah. And then the Cyber Planet key, you can come down here, you can flip out that panel again, and you insert it, and it still gives him the chompy mouth drill thing, but now it's his chest, so he's just gonna like grab onto someone and he's just gonna beat them over the head with his fist, if he could actually reach them with his fist, because holy crap, his chest is longer than his arms reach, so hopefully he doesn't get an inch on his stomach, or else that would be rather unfortunate. It's a little dorky with the proportions, but it's still a pretty neat little figure. I'm going to take the cyber key out, And then we're going to get on to some robot mode size comparisons. Here he is with Legends Class Bumblebee. And he can comfortably stand underneath Downshift and use him as an umbrella of sorts. It's a bit of protective cover from the sky. Here he is with Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. And despite Downshift being a longer and larger vehicle mode than Chrome Dome, in terms of head height, Chrome Dome ends up being taller than him, though the engine block makes him, just the stuff in the back just makes him overall taller, but he's still shorter by the head, but still substantially more beefy than Chrome Dome is. Here he is with Voyager Class Megatron. And Downshift by his head comes to the bottom of the red bit on Megatron, and this bit comes up to the bottom of the panel, his chest panel on Megatron. And then Leader Class 6-Shot. And you can see that he's in the midst of that same script panel that most of the Deluxes end up falling into. And then, of course, here he is with the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. And you can see how he looks next to a Cybertron toy, and a toy that is actually named Wheeljack. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, Downshift is a pretty nice toy. Very nice, very beefy, very cool alt mode, very nice accessories. If you get the chance, pick him up. He's a good toy. There's nothing bad about him. It's not like nothing per se particularly like there's something you definitely have to get this toy for this reason. If it appeals to you, get it. I like it. It's nice. There's nothing wrong with him. But yeah, that's all there is to say on Downshift. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.